Pittsburgh Steelers fans, it is draft week. This is our holiday here at BTSC and for football fans around the globe. Really excited for this. So here we go. It is our first ever chat room mock draft, Tony. How pumped are you? Could you sleep last night thinking about this?
No, it was like Christmas Eve. This is like my Christmas morning. Isn't that what everybody always says this time of year?
Yep. Ho, ho, ho.
It's time to do it. Ho, ho,
Yes.
ho.
So Tony, I'm really excited because I've been contacting the people that have signed up. We have actually a couple more that are alternates, and there might be a possibility that a couple of people don't show up. So Nicholas Normand and Brad Asilka, you are actually on the clock as far as being alternates. So if you're here and you want to go ahead, just let us know and we'll get you in. So this is the first time we've ever done this, and we don't have a big board. We don't have, there's a lot of stuff we don't have. But what we're going to do is we're going to just go ahead and when we call you, go ahead, you put your pick up on the board. And if you want to just write in real quick, like in one sentence, why you thought they're a good pick, go ahead. Now, Tony and I have the right to go ahead and veto you. So if you go ahead and say, we're going to go ahead and say that Bradley Anai is going first overall to the Cincinnati Bengals, we're like, no, you can't do that. But if you have a legitimate pick for any pick that is legitimate, you can. So that's what we're going to do. So once again, if you want to go ahead and get involved, let us know. This is, like I said, this is the first time we're doing this. We aren't going to have any trades. I wish we could have trades. That'd be fantastic. Bradley James just put $1.99 in and said he's here for us if anybody drops out. So let's remember Bradley James. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. And then we have Wes Hickok, who was going to be joining us, but he is going to go ahead, be on the he's going to be in the chat room as well. And he is going to go ahead and throw in if some people don't go ahead and pick. So we only have an hour. We're going to go ahead and rush right through this. Here's the number one rule. Have fun. Just have fun with this. It's going to be awesome, I think. We're going to have to go quick between picks. If we call your name and you're not there within about 30 seconds to 45 seconds, we're going to have to call for an alternate. All right. Just because of time, I do apologize for that. We just don't have 15. If I do mess up your name, please let me know. But Tony, do you have any advice for these GMs? You did this last week.
Well, it's like we talked about off the air. You have to pretend like you're the actual general manager of these teams and pick accordingly, and not pick like you said last week, 7 punters or 1 punter or a kicker or somebody like that, or Johnny Manziel. You don't want to do that. You want to be legit and keep this draft genuine.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. Real quick, a lot of you are first timers to the YouTube show, the YouTube live show. A lot of you listen to us on different platforms, and I think that's completely awesome because we promoted this through so many of our other shows with Lance, with the Scobros, with Jeff Hartman. Tony and I have promoted this. So we do have some first-time viewers here in the live chat. So be sure to subscribe. That's the way, if you like this show, if you hit like, if you jump out of the live chat, hit like. If you subscribe, that helps us out greatly. And if you see in the live chat, it doesn't cost to go ahead in the live chat, but if you want to get in the super chat, go ahead and do that as well. That goes into the tip jar for some future giveaways and some things we have going on. We do have a giveaway going on this week. Check out behindthesteelcurtain.com. Dave Schofield posted an article about picking the Steelers pick. So that's something you could always check out. So with that being said, with the first pick in the 2020 BTSC mock draft, we're going to the Cincinnati Bengals and Blake Litteral. Blake, take it away, my friend. So as we're waiting for Blake, Tony, what do you really think the Cincinnati Bengals need the most here?
Well, I think they need to hit on a quarterback, but the question is Joe Burrow the best player on the board? And he's not. The consensus is Chase Young, and that's why I think the Bengals have quite the dilemma, and I'm envious of the Redskins position at number 2 because they picked their quarterback last year, and Dwayne Haskins, so they could just go in and sit back and pick the best player, which is going to be Young.
All right, Chandler Brown is on the clock with the Washington Redskins. Chandler, you can go ahead and get ready to type your pick in, but Blake Litteral with the first pick in the 2020 NFL draft of the Cincinnati Bengals select Chase Young, edge of Ohio State University. The first pick goes to the best player, and Dalton is safe for one more year, says Blake. That is a pick that we cannot veto. That is a legitimate pick, and I like that. I really like that. This is a guy, Tony. He's an athletic specimen. He's, speed to power. In fact, he has so much power. I think he is really, as a pass rusher, as a player, probably one of the best in the entire draft. So Here's the bad thing, though. And it was just said, well, that's really going to throw some things off here. Yes, it will.
Yeah, well, that's what we talked about. I mean, what I just mentioned earlier, he is Joe Burrow the best player in the draft, and he probably isn't. But if he's good enough to be a franchise quarterback, the Bengals might be kicking themselves. But what are the Redskins going to do now? Because I'm sure they had their mindset on Chase Young, and now they're going to have to scramble.
Okay, so Chandler Brown, you are on the clock for about 15 more seconds. Need Chandler to go ahead and get his pick in for the Washington Redskins. DJ2YT only says the Redskins would definitely be trading out of here with this pick. So that's the thing. We don't really have trades here. So this is going to be really interesting. And the only reason we don't have trades is we don't have enough time for it. But, I could definitely see that happening. But what an exactly great pick. So I don't really see Chandler going in here. So I'm going to throw it over to, at this point, we're going to go ahead and throw it into Bradley Asilka. And Bradley Asilka was on our alternate list. He is in under Bradley James. We appreciate that. We are going to go ahead and throw it to Bradley. You've got to make a pick real quick for the Washington Redskins. We will give you 30 seconds to go ahead and make that pick. Reed Overand is on the clock with the Detroit Lions. Reed, get your pick ready to hit send. So go ahead. Bradley James is
kind of like
next.
It's a fantasy football draft.
Yeah, so that's and that's the thing. I mean, this is a situation where we just don't have everybody in, and you knew this was going to happen, and that's no problem. So Tony and Wes, if we don't hear from Bradley in about 30 seconds, we're going to go ahead and you guys think of a pick next. Wes, I'm going to put you on the clock then if we don't hear from Bradley. And I know Bradley is in here. So let's see how we're going here. So Tony, start thinking about a pick for number 2 of the Washington Redskins. Of course, they would probably trade out of this pick.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm ready. If we don't have our number 2, I'm ready.
All right, Wes, if you have an opportunity to go ahead and throw in. Oh, Bradley is in. Bradley has made the pick. Wow, you guys that really did some research just got thrown off because Reed at number 3 probably thought he had this all done, and now he doesn't. So here we go. Jeffrey Okudah. Redskins need a corner and a playmaker since they can't trade out of this pick.
Right.
Great pick, Bradley. Jeffrey Okudah, what do you think about Mr. Okudah, who everybody had going to the Detroit Lions in a no-trade draft?
Well, I think the Lions, who definitely need cornerback help, are kicking themselves right now for not trying to trade up to that second pick. But for the Redskins being thrown off, but the Chase Young pick at number 1, this is a great value pick. It's the best player left on the board, in my opinion.
This guy's 6'1". He has great size for a corner, excellent coverage skills, size, speed. He is out of Ohio State, one of the best corners on the draft. So Gyro says, wow, OSU first 2 picks. He likes it. So Reed Overand, go ahead. you are now scrambling with the Detroit Lions. Reed, who is a regular contributor to BTSC, is up next. Go ahead, Reed. Who do you have for the Lions now? Kobe Higginson with the New York Giants is on the clock. And after that, Chad Dobbs with the Miami Dolphins at number 5.
Did the Lions reach for a cornerback help here? It's interesting to see what they're going to do at number 3.
Yeah, that's I mean, here's the thing. Their cornerback is not on the board. Matthew Stafford is getting older. Do they go there? Right. Or our favorite hobo loves defense? Is he going to go defense?
I mean,
Reed Overand with the 3rd pick in the 2020 draft. The Detroit Lions select Isaiah Simmons, linebacker / safety. We need defense, and he plays many positions at a high level. Wow. We were talking last week that Isaiah Simmons is the guy. He is definitely the guy.
And you know what, Bryan?
Go ahead.
The Dolphins are jumping for joy right now. They're leaping out of the water. They're so excited at number 5 because unless the Giants pick a quarterback at number 4, why would they do that with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, and what's really funny about that, Tony, is yesterday I was reading how the Giants are doing due diligence right now on looking at Justin Herbert out of Oregon. So,
wow.
I mean,
that's got to be a
so
screen.
Do they not? Yeah, I would probably think that. So let's go ahead and see where we're going. But with that being said, we're almost ready to have Kobe with the pick. I saw him. I believe is that I'm going to think that this might be Kobe. Oh, yeah, Kobe. I can't pronounce it. So I'm going to assume that this is Kobe right here. Joe Burrow and look to draft. So it looks like the Giants in our mock draft went to Joe Burrow. So, yeah, Miami is like, what's going on here? They definitely would have traded into that. But really interesting. But now look at this. Now, Kobe also puts this in. Joe Burrow at number 4 and look to trade. So, with that being said, if they're picking there, and they've done this before, the Giants have been on this end back in 2004 where they had San Diego at the time pick Phillip Rivers. So they could go ahead and make that deal. Pick Eli Manning so they could make that deal. So very interesting. Chad Dobbs, CD is on the clock. We're waiting on CD's pick with the Miami Dolphins. Everything's going a little crazy. People are saying, what about Danny Dimes? But here's the deal. The thing about Danny Dimes is, they're making to look a trade right now. So they would probably do really well here. CD is in. Braden Miller with the Chargers is on deck. Start typing your pick and get ready to get that in. With the 5th overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa, Alabama. We need a quarterback, and we have found a Russell Wilson type to lead our dynamic offense in our rebuild. Fantastic. And I got to tell you this. I love the way you guys are setting it up. Fantastic. That's definitely the spirit of the draft that we are looking at. So Tua goes in. What are your thoughts about Tua here?
Well, I can't believe number 4. I wouldn't have gone that direction, but we have to remember Tua was the consensus number 1 pick heading into last year. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, you would have to think that he might still be in Joe Burrow's spot right now. So, if he provided he's healthy and he overcomes that hip injury, then I think the Dolphins might have their quarterback of the future.
Yeah, I tell you what, CBS calls him the best deep threat in the draft. He's a dual threat. This is a perfect pick for the Miami Dolphins to start over. I love it. We just got a message from Robert Mullins saying hi from Tokyo as well. Chad Dobbs was about to go Burrow, and then the Giants went and go ahead and made that deal. So we will see what happens. if something like that happens, that Cincinnati comes in and just completely changes the face of the draft, then it's going to be really interesting. So we have Braden Miller up next with the 6th pick. The Los Angeles Chargers select Justin Herbert. Let's be real. The Chargers can't be serious with having Tyrod Taylor as their future quarterback. This is a pick that we've been thinking was going to happen. I really love this. Really good pick. So coming up with the Carolina Panthers next. I have it written down different on my sheet, but I know whoever has the Panthers at number 7 knows that they have them because I saw them in earlier. So we will go ahead and have him up next. For some reason, I don't have it on my sheet. I still have Wes, and we moved Wes out of that spot. So if you have the Carolina Panthers, you are up next. Then after the Panthers, we're going to have Thomas Doty with the Arizona Cardinals. So there you go. Tony, here's a question here. While we're waiting for that pick. Oh, it was Solomon Smith. Actually, so we have a little bit of confusion here. Solomon Smith has already put his pick in for the Raiders, but he is 9th. So we're looking for Carolina right here. Oh, that's right. It was Aquanoob, and I knew that. Aquanoob, Derek Brown, defensive lineman, Auburn, 6'5", 326. 2019 stats, 55 tackles, 4 sacks. Carolina ranked 23rd against the pass and 29th against the run, allowing 5.2 yards per rush. Tony, this is a guy you picked last week. What do you think about this?
I think he's the best player left, and they don't need a quarterback there. And they definitely need defense, as the GM pointed out here. So yeah, it's a great value pick for them at number 7.
All right, fantastic. Next on the clock, we have Thomas Doty, Thomas was a alternate, and I emailed him today to let him know. So what I'm going to do, if Thomas is in, I am going to go ahead and give him a chance. Let's give Thomas 60 seconds. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to get an alternate. Somebody, if somebody wants to think, Wes, if you want to go ahead and take Arizona, if you are in the live chat, if not, we'll go ahead and pick for Thomas if he doesn't come in. On the clock then would be Snowman. And then we're going to have that would be number 9. We would have Snowman. So here we go. So we've been asked for a top 10 recap so far from Mark Davison. And Tony, have you been writing these down?
Well, number 1 was Chase Young. Number 2 was, let me see, the Redskins. They picked, who'd they pick? Oh, yeah, they picked and then number 3, the Lions picked Simmons, right, from the linebacker. Number 4, it was they threw everybody for a loop with Joe Burrow at number 4, the Giants, which last year they picked Daniel Jones, so that's going to facilitate a trade, you would think. And number 5, the Dolphins picked Tua, and number 6, the Chargers picked Justin Herbert. Number 7, the Panthers picked Derek Brown. So we're all caught up.
Okay, so somebody just said, Blake said the draft is officially going back to normal, and Blake was the one with this, really with this, that started this chaos. So it's fantastic. I love the chaos. So look, I don't think we have Thomas in here. So what we're going to do is this is something that I think that the Cardinals need the most would be an offensive lineman. Wouldn't you say, Tony?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of all the good ones are still out there, and they have to be pretty happy at this point if they decide to go in that direction. So let's go ahead and Wes is asking who's on the clock right now. It is Carolina. I'm thinking what we should do. We'll give Wes about 15 seconds. Excuse me, Arizona on the clock. I'm thinking we might go with Kobe's pick because I like it. I think it works for them.
at number 8 for them. But so what we'll do is to keep it moving. Let's go ahead, and if Wes doesn't pop up here any moment, and keep in mind, thanks for bearing with us. This is the first time we've ever done this, so we're figuring it out. We'll probably be better next year, of course, but it's been a fun draft so far. Once again, Chase Young, Jerry Akuda, Isaiah Simmons, Joe Burrow at number 4, Tua at number 5, Herbert at 6, 7, Derek Brown, and Tony, let's go with Kobe here. What Kobe says. Let's go with Tristan Wirfs.
I like it.
I think this team needs an offensive lineman more than anything. So we're going to go ahead and put Tristan Wirfs in. Let's go to number 9 now. And number 9 belongs to the Jacksonville Jaguars and our good friend Snowman, one of the greatest Super Chat contributors of all time. He's definitely in the Super Chat Hall of Fame. So let's go ahead and go to Snowman with the next pick. And with the 9th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Javon Kinlaw, defensive end out of South Carolina. They traded Calais Campbell, so they need a replacement. You know what? I really can't. I think he is one of the best players in the draft, and that's something that we've talked about as far as defenders. This is what you call a great value pick, Snowman. Fantastic. They've got another pick coming up at number 20. Love it. So Snowman goes with Javon Kinlaw. Let's go to the mistakes by the lake. They are known by the Cleveland Browns, and Jeff Lauderdale is going to go ahead and select for the Browns. You are on the clock, Jeff. So Tony, the Cleveland Browns, they have a lot of things. You were talking about, you had their pick last week. They have a lot of things in Cleveland on paper.
Right.
So
I think they have to revamp that offensive line. That was their main weakness last year heading into the season, and it didn't improve during the season. It was one of the reasons why they finished out of the playoffs, I think. So they definitely have the defensive talent, and they definitely have skill position players, and they definitely have the quarterback you would think of the future, at least as of right now, and Baker Mayfield. So it has to be an offensive tackle, I would think, at this point.
Well, the pick is in, and before we go to the pick, coming up at number 11, Tate Boys with the New York Jets on the clock, then Solomon Smith with the Raiders. But it was the 10th pick, Kenneth Murray. Wow. With rumored interest in Ezra Cleveland to Cleveland, I decided to address an underrated need and give the Browns an elite athlete in the middle of their defense. Here's the thing. Joe Schobert's gone. Schobert is gone. He's actually in Jacksonville now, I believe. Kenneth Murray is that from Oklahoma, is that middle of the defense stud that could be really good for this team. I like that pick. So Jeff Fort Lauderdale, as I channel my, I'm sure he's heard that a million times as I channel Chris Berman, but going with Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. Interesting pick. No one saw that coming, but I could see them doing it. Plus, they're the Browns.
Yeah, I mean it looks like a bit of a reach if you look at the big board I have in front of me. He's in the late 20s, but hey, it's not far enough away that we can veto it, and it does make sense according to the needs that he laid out there. So yeah, we'll have to stick with that one.
Okay, so Tate Boy's pick is in for the Jets. Solomon Smith with the Raiders is coming up next. Solomon, I'll ask you to retype that in. But here we go. I would be a failure as the New York Jets GM if I go into the 2020 season with Jamison Crowder as our best wide receiver. It was a tough decision with the number 11 pick. We take C.D. Lamb. C.D. Lamb out of
I love it.
Oklahoma. I messed that up last week, and I got it this week. And so 2 Oklahoma players. C.D. Lamb, I really like that pick a lot. So there you go. I like this. Well, actually, this is good too. Tony, your article writing is so good. I look forward to each article. That's really nice.
Thank you, Zach. I
Look
appreciate
at the
that.
big head on Tony. Failure is the NYJ GM. Sounds like a normal NYJ GM.
Well, you know what? I think Tate Boy made an excellent pick. That was perfect. That's the Jets needed a wide receiver, and I think they got the best one on the board, at least on paper, anyway. So good pick, Tate Boy.
So Solomon Smith actually put his in earlier, and I haven't seen. I'm gonna try to go back and find it because he sent it in early, but here we go. So he was going with CD Lamb at the time, and so Solomon, we need a new pick. And here it is, and he's going the same position with the 11th overall pick in the Las Vegas Raiders. Got to get used to saying that. The Vegas Raiders choose Jerry Heist with Derek Carr needing a weapon. Jerry will be a great inside threat with speed. Jerry Jeudy, that's a speedy Raiders pick. That's the guy. Tony.
I saw him as this pick last week. I think I had him in my mock draft that I wrote before our draft, and I think Wes might have picked him. I can't remember exactly how it went down, but I like that pick.
No, I had the Raiders last week, and I actually went a different receiver, just mix things up a little bit, and I went with Ruggs. But really, I mean, that wasn't really what's going to happen. That's just who I went with. So I haven't been putting people on the clock, so let's go ahead and do this. Shield 91 is up next with the San Francisco 49ers, their pick from Indianapolis. Then we have Donald Nolan and then John Rice with Denver. So Donald, you're on deck with Tampa Bay, and Shield 91, we're looking for your pick, and that's for the San Francisco 49ers, the NFC champion last year, the Super Bowl runner-up. Who is it going to be, Tony? I mean, they can go wide receiver here. They could go defense. You picked for them last week, and Ken Law is gone. Derek Brown is gone.
Yeah, that was too good of a guy to pass up last week with him also having a pick in the later portion of the first round. But I think with those two players gone, they have to go receiver. And it's such a deep pool of receivers this year. They almost have to go that route at number 13. But you never know. I'm not the GM. I'm not the one making the pick. Let's see what they do.
Exactly. And let's go ahead and quickly, while we're waiting for Shield 91, we're going to give Shield another 30 seconds to go ahead and put in the pick for Tampa Bay. But let's go ahead and recap so far. We had Chase Young going number 1 overall, then Jerry Okudah to the Washington Redskins. Isaiah Simmons went to the Detroit Lions at number 3. Kobe took for the Giants Joe Burrow and wants to trade him. At number 5, it was Tua going to the Dolphins. Herbert at number 6 with the Los Angeles Chargers. It was Derek Brown at number 7 with Carolina. At Thomas is what we were looking at. Oh, actually, I did screw up, but I do apologize. You are absolutely correct. Did we miss somebody here? So so I just mixed them up. Donald Nolan is up next with Tampa Bay, and then we are going to the then we'll go to Shield 91. So Shield 91, my bad, I apologize. No, not okay. I've missed everything. I've messed everything
That's
up.
all right. That's
So
all right.
Shield
You're
is on
doing
the
a great
clock.
job.
Shield is on the clock.
And
here we
the
go,
pick is
Shield,
in.
with the 13th pick in the 2020 BTSC draft. The San Francisco 49ers select Henry Ruggs III. Ruggs is a well-rounded receiver that could run in and outside the slot and has potential to scare secondaries. Wow. And I have a feeling that I've got a buddy that is a Denver Broncos fan that is not loving that pick whatsoever because he wanted Henry Ruggs. Shield 91 takes him, and here I am screwing up the whole draft. And now on the clock is Donald Nolan. Donald is on the clock with Tampa Bay.
So many one thing I'd like to comment on is it seems like our GMs don't value offensive linemen. They don't value protecting that quarterback because there's so many great ones still left out there. We've only had one go off the board so far. That was
isn't that crazy?
Tristan
But
Wirfs, yeah.
when they go, they're going to go, and I have a feeling that they are going. No, they're not. Whoa! Here is the pick that's going to be crazy, and I love it. Donald Nolan with the 14th pick. Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Wisconsin running back Jonathan Taylor. I love it.
Wow.
Tom Brady needs a right tackle to protect him, but I went with a do-it-all running back like he had with James White. Very interesting. Hey, this is what it's all about. This is why we do this. It's just not a typical
carries. 926 carries in 3 years. There's a lot of wear and tear on that body.
Yeah, but this guy is a player, and I think Tampa is a great environment for him. So this is going to be fantastic. Boy, he goes from the cold of Wisconsin going down to sunny Tampa Bay, and it's going to be beautiful there. He's going to have Tom Brady. He's going to have a bunch of receivers. He's going to have a tight end to help him out. No offensive line to protect him. But what a pick. I love it. Here we are at number 15, and it is John Rice with the Denver Broncos. Waiting for John to pick. And I have a feeling John Rice was really hoping for Henry Ruggs as well. So it'll be interesting to see who he's going to go ahead and pick. And I just want to go ahead and say this out. I'm just reading my outlook. Nicholas Norman is he is right now number one. Number one is an alternate. So Nicholas, I just read an outlook that you are in the draft. Fantastic. So if we have somebody that does not show up, you'll be the quick understudy. So I will call on you then, Nick. So with the 15th pick, we're waiting on John Rice to go ahead and come in.
The Broncos could probably go receiver here, but they definitely need some. According to what I've read, they need some defensive help too, especially on the D line. So we'll see what this pick's going to be. It's going to be pretty interesting.
And it is in. Jonathan Rice with the 15th pick in the NFL draft. The Denver Broncos select Mekhi Becton, offensive line, Louisville. Garrett Bowles can hold teammates' hands on the bench next year. Ruggs is gone, and wide receiver is deeper than offensive line. And here's the thing. John claims to be a Denver Broncos fan, so fantastic. Good to have a Broncos fan in there. And he is going with Mekhi Becton. And like you said, we expected these guys to go earlier, and they're not going.
Great value pick. They got their quarterback last year, so they're going to need somebody to protect them. So very good.
Yeah, and you know what? Here's the good thing, John. This is a deep wide receiver draft. You've got you've got an early pick in the second. Not an early pick, but you've got a second pick because of the Steelers. So there's a good that's a really good pick. Mark Davison from Down Under is like, the Vikings wanted that bloke. You know what? I do have a question from Snowman. I tell you what, Snowman, we will go ahead and let you make an alternate pick after Kamau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Goes pick. We're having fun here. Why not? So let's go ahead with Suplex Tyler on the clock for the Atlanta Falcons. Also coming up at number 17, Thomas Zaire. Then the Jerry Cherry Band with the Steelers pick of the Miami Dolphins. And then we are going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. And I believe that was one that just dropped out. So if I don't have the replacement for the Las Vegas Raiders on my updated sheet, I'm going to say Nicholas Norman, then you will be on the clock for the Vegas Raiders coming up at number 19. So with that said, let's go to Suplex. With his pick, the Falcons select Grant Delpit, safety, LSU. I picked it because their offense is fine. They could use some defense secondary help. I really like his play, and he's really good. Grant Delpit. I expected him to go later, but that's a heck of a pick.
Yeah, they must have really liked his individual workout, because you still have Xavier McKinney on the board, and Winfield on the board, so they must really like him. Good pick, Delpit, or I'm sorry, good pick, Falcons.
So there you go. Thomas Zare is up next. He was on the alternate list, and then he moved in. I sent him an email. So I'm going to give him 60 seconds to go ahead and get in. With that being said, though, what I'll do is if Thomas doesn't get in, since I don't know if I've heard from Thomas back yet, Wes, I'm going to put you on the clock for the Dallas Cowboys. But no, Thomas is in, so fantastic. There he is. With the 17th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Xavier McKinney out of Alabama. The Cowboys have lost players in the secondary and have been looking for a game-changing safety. So there you go, Tom. Great pick. I thought he was going to be the top safety to go on the draft in the draft.
I love it.
That's wow. That is a good. Finally, Thomas, you should call Jerry Jones, because that you might be the best GM that they've had in years. Xavier McKinney. I thought that was going to be a guy going to the Miami Dolphins. So there you go.
Exactly.
So, what are they going to do? So
second time in the first round, they've had the rug pulled off from under them right before they picked. That's 2 times now.
Back to Delpit real quick. Tate Boys says, hey, he'd love to take Delpit at number 49. If he were there, that's actually a really good one. And Ryan Kellerman just threw in that the Steelers select Minka Fitzpatrick at number 18. But the Jerry Cherry Band is up next, and the Jerry Cherry Band is going to pick for the Miami Dolphins. They can't pick Minka Fitzpatrick again, but I bet you they would like to. So at number 18, we are waiting to hear from the Jerry Cherry Band. Nick Normand, you are up next with the Las Vegas Raiders after Jerry Cherry picks. Then we're going to go Kamal Williams-Hampton, and then Gyro with the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's go ahead and put about 30 seconds more on the clock as we go ahead and wait for the Jerry Cherry Band.
Yeah, you would think they were looking for safety there, but there's still a lot of some decent edge rushers still out on the board. So that's definitely an area I could see them picking.
They have their quarterback. Do they need an offensive lineman there? Let's throw it to Wes. If we don't see from there he is. There's Jerry Cherry. Jedrick Wills, offensive lineman from Alabama, needs some protection for Tua. Wow. Jedrick Wills has really dropped in this draft. He is a top 10 pick. Going at number 18. Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely a good value pick. That's their David DeCastro.
Miami's getting the stuff they need, and you mentioned that they need a safety. They could probably get that down the road as well. Let's go to the Las Vegas Raiders, and we're going to go ahead and put Nicholas Normand, who I know he's in now. And after Nicholas, we're going to go with Kamal Williams-Hampton, Gyro, Ryan Kellerman, Jeff Folan, Thaddeus Kennedy, and Mark Davison. You're all in line, and I'm thinking a lot of you. I've seen a lot of you in there, so we should be going smooth. So Nicholas, you are on the clock, and let's see what we got. So with that being said, you said it about the offensive linemen going. How they haven't gone. Now, 2 have gone or 3?
So far, we have Wirfs and Becton and Will. So we have 3 off the board.
So the guy a lot of people see going first out of Georgia, Andrew Thomas, is still on the clock.
He's still out there.
Okay, here we go. Nicholas is in. At number 19, the Las Vegas Raiders select CJ Henderson. Super athletic, but raw athlete. Corner is a huge need too. Right up John Gruden's alley. So they got their wide receiver earlier, right? And now they get on the other side. They get a defensive back that they badly need. I really think that the Las Vegas Raiders need to call Nick Norman, and they also need to go ahead and call up Solomon Smith as well, because really good picks for the team. Jerry Jeudy going, and now CJ Henderson. Okay, up next, Kamal. I'm messing up your name, and I'm sorry. Kamal Williams-Hampton. And I know Kamal emailed me earlier has never been on the YouTube, listens to us on the family of networks. So we'll wait for Kamal Williams-Hampton. We'll give Kamal about 30 seconds, and if not, then we will go ahead and go back to Snowman, who had the Jaguars earlier. So let's give it about 30 seconds there. So Tony, we're more than halfway through this draft. We've got 19 minutes left. We're moving right along. What do you think so far? These guys know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah, they do. A lot of surprises, but it's hard to deny the logic. And the only one I have a real problem with, and I'm sorry, is number 4, the Giants pick. But other than that, and maybe the Jonathan Taylor pick, I think these people are doing a great job. I know I sound like Mel Kiper right now, and you probably want to say who the hell is Tony Defeo, but that's all right. That's it's just my opinion. You guys are the GMs.
At least you're not afraid to go with your real hair. And look, we do have some first timers here, and it's fantastic, and I love it. And somebody just mentioned that this was their first time. Thomas says first time catching the show. Love, and I know to like the show. I know to like the show to come on. Now he is going to go ahead and subscribe. That's what you need to do. Then it'll show up and say, hey, these guys are on, and he could jump in. So it's nice to have those notifications. So since have not heard from Kamal Williams-Hampton, let's go ahead and go back to Snowman, who had them earlier, who asked to pick. And since Kamal's not in, we'll go ahead and move it ahead. After that, we're going to hear from Gyro, Ryan Kellerman, Jeff Folan, Thaddeus Kennedy, Mark Davison, Dill Whittet. So go ahead. If Kamal doesn't come in, doesn't look like Kamal's coming in. So let's go ahead with Snowman. You are up, my friend. So Tony, I got to tell you, I tell you what, I like it being on this. Last week was a lot of pressure. We were trying to go real quick, and now we're letting these guys go, and they're really creative. And here's the thing about it. Here's definitely the thing. What happens here is you have a situation where somebody's going to completely upend the draft, and this might be happening, especially with a trade.
Right.
What I'm going to ask you to do as we get ready to make this pick, we just had a request. If somebody could go ahead and put in maybe the last 6 picks, so we can go ahead and have that in for those who can't scroll through. If they could maybe put who the last 6 picks were up in the live chat to help some friends out. I think Dill Whittet asked for that. With the 20th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle, Georgia. They need O-lineman help. Wow. If you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, where dreams go to die, you just picked up some fantastic players today. And that is just a fantastic pick. Andrew Thomas, anybody that said he would last a 20, nobody would have guessed that. Nope. Nobody would have guessed that whatsoever.
Not at all.
So looks like Gyro is up next. Didn't even have to ask him. Here he goes. Greg Getz, thanks for putting the last 6 picks up there. I appreciate it as well. Gyro with the 21st in the 2020 draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, Louisiana State University. Carson Wentz needs a weapon in the passing game, and Jefferson will do just that, says Gyro. I got to tell you, Justin Jefferson, that's a guy that you don't hear. You hear the Judys, you hear the Lambs, you hear the Ruggs. You don't hear a lot of Jefferson. He's got size, he's got speed. The Eagles seem to always need a wide receiver, and I think this is the guy that might just break through for them. So there you go. Ryan Kellerman with the first Minnesota pick from Buffalo is on, and then we're going to have Minnesota and just a few more picks down under with Mark Davison. So Justin Jefferson going. So Philip Giandelletti says that's the best slot wide receiver in the draft. So a good pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. I tell you what, this is a really deep draft. It is it's pretty exciting. Lance is saying Kamau is his cousin. So Lance, if you talk to your cousin and they want to get back in, there might be a spot. Feel free. So there we have family on the show, Lance's family. So that's fantastic. Minnesota Vikings are next on the clock. This is the pick that they traded away. That when they traded away Stephon Diggs, this is who they went with. This is that extra pick, not who they went with. We're going to find out who they went with.
It's a very good football team, the Vikings. I don't see very many needs, so it's going to be interesting to see what they go with.
All right, so we're just waiting on Ryan Kellerman, and I know that I saw where Ryan Kellerman is in. He mentioned earlier that he doesn't know who to replace first, Diggs or Everson Griffin. So I'm sure he's working that out. So about 30 more seconds from Ryan Kellerman, as we're coming up on 14 minutes in front of the hour, Tony. Here we go. If we're going to go ahead and recap the last few picks, Justin Jefferson went to Philadelphia. Then it was Andrew Thomas at number 20 going to Jacksonville. CJ Henderson at 19 to the Raiders. At 18, it was Jedrick Wills to the Dolphins. Xavier McKinney at 17 to the Cowboys. Grant Delpit, the safety, at 16. And at 15, Mekhi Becton. Now the pick is in. On the clock before we do that will be Jeff Volan with the Patriots. But Ryan Kellerman is up. With the 22nd pick, the Minnesota Vikings select K'Lavon Chasen, edge, with Everson Griffin gone. Daniel Hunter needs a partner. Stephon Diggs is gone, but wide receiver is very deep, so he's going edge. And here's the thing. Ryan Kellerman, I love K'Lavon Chasen. I think that is a tremendous pick. This is something they definitely need, and they do have the luxury of being able to go ahead and pick again in just a few picks. Tony, weren't you originally going to be named K'Lavon Defeo?
My middle name, but, yeah. but my mom went with Julius instead. So
Julius, I like that. Yeah. Julius, that's awesome. So here we go. Just going to go ahead and throw this in. We've already picked for the Raiders, and what Kamau was going to do was go ahead and pick. Not the Raiders. Was going to go ahead and pick for Jacksonville. But one of the things he wanted to do was go ahead and pick Jordan Love. So that would be their alternate pick, but we've already picked for them. But that would be a heck of a pick too. So I could see that happening for Jacksonville as well. So here we go. I'm laughing because I love the commentary. Jeff Volan with the 23rd pick in the BTSC mock draft. The dirty cheating Patriots select H.A. Epinesa from Iowa. This guy's an edge rusher that is all over the draft, Tony. I mean,
yeah,
people have him going higher. They have him going in the second round. What's up with this guy?
I don't know. He's hard to get a finger on. The big board I'm looking at right now, he's let's see, he's in the middle of the pack, so it's a good in that regard. It's a good value pick. It's actually the one I'm looking at. He's 23rd on that big board. So
they have. So your big board likes it as well.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So actually, no, I've seen him go here, there, and everywhere. The draft that I've been looking at has him going in the 8th pick in the 2nd round. He patterns his game after a guy like J.J. Watt, from what they say. He has the ability to set the edge in the run game. That's a good player. A lot of people have him going there as well. So here we go. As we keep on going, Thaddeus Kennedy to the New Orleans Saints. You go. We're no Mardi Gras this year, but let's see if Thad has a party here.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of needs, but there's a lot of good defensive players available still. And as you said, the receiving class is pretty deep, so they could probably wait till the 2nd round.
All right, so here we go. With the 24th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, New Orleans Saints select Denzel Mims, wide receiver, Baylor. 6'3", he's a dynamic wide receiver to pair with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. I got to tell you, Denzel Mims. You throw a 6'3" guy in with Michael Thomas, now Emmanuel Sanders, you have a heck of a team. I mean, if you're Drew Brees, you're loving this, aren't you, Tony?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely. He just turned 40, right? So I'm thinking he's going to want to play till 50 with all those weapons.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't think that Denzel Mims was quite 40, or that would be a record for a draft.
Well, no, Drew Brees.
I'm joking. I'm joking. All right, on the clock, we have Mark Davison, then Dill Whittet, Philip Giandoletti, Jesse Robinson. And those are our next picks. So let's go down under with Mark Davison. You are up next. So he's
it's their second time on the clock, and the past few picks, they already went with an edge rusher and Chase on. So let's see what they do with 25.
Yeah, now do they go wide receiver here? Or do they continue to add to that defense? So Mark Davison, he's getting ready to get his pick ready. After Mark, we're going to have the Miami Dolphins again with Dill Whittet, Seattle Seahawks with Philip Giandoletti, Jesse Robinson with the Ravens. I hope I'm not messing up this name. I know he's in there. From Columbia, we have Janeer Antonio Cabeza Manrique, then Greg Getz. So here we go. So Mark Davison, who, it is like 7:52 where he's at right now, a.m. He's in Australia, a trooper. We could definitely give him a little bit of time. Dill Whittet, if you want to go ahead and type yours in. And if everybody wants to type theirs in, since we're coming up close to the top of the hour, and then you don't have to hit send. We'll just wait until it's your turn. And here we go. With the 25th pick, the Vikings select Josh Jones, offensive lineman, Houston. We need to protect our awful quarterback, Mr. Cousins. You like that? You like that? That's like a mic drop. He just dropped. Mark Davison from Australia just dropped the mic. Good day, mates. I'm out of here.
I don't know. I think he's in a good situation, Kirk Cousins. I think he's got a good team around him. So, he's going to be happy with this pick. Somebody to protect his blind side.
There we go. Dill Whittet is on the clock now. And okay, is this true? I'm not sure if this is true because I have not seen this. Brad. Okay, Brad is making a mock trade. I wish we can go ahead and do that.
Scared me.
I was like, wait, is this breaking news? But no, it does not look like the Steelers are trading Mike Hilton, a 4th round pick, and a comp pick. I would like that though. But let's go to Dill Whittet here. As the 3rd GM tonight for Miami with pick number 26, the Miami Dolphins choose a safety, because they need to somehow try to replace the major loss of Fitzpatrick by choosing Xavier McKinney. However,
He's
I
already
believe
been picked.
Xavier McKinney is a Dallas Cowboy.
Number 17.
So, yeah, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to go back to the clock, and I tell you what we'll do is we'll go ahead and give you 30 more seconds there to go ahead with Xavier McKinney. Then coming up, we've got Philip Giannoletti, Jesse Robinson, Hunter Manrique. So we'll see who we have. Greg Getz as well is coming up with Green Bay. Then after that, Solarverse 6 with San Francisco and Michael O'Malley with the Chiefs. Logan DiLorenzo as well. So what we've got to do is we got to deal with it. Is going to go ahead and change that pick. He likes the safety. Antoine Winfield Jr. This is a guy that a lot of people wanted to go to the Steelers. Really good pick. Deal with it. Let's go next to Seattle Seahawks and Philip Giannoletti with Jesse Robinson right behind him. I really like that. Here's a question, $19.32 from Damian King. Thank you very much. What do you guys think about Willie Gay Jr. being considered for Steelers later round draft pick? Now, I've been looking at him as I believe Willie Gay Jr. is a linebacker, and I think that could be a really good pick because they're going to need an inside linebacker in the draft. So as you say, later round pick, Damian, and thanks for the super chat. Not bad around the fourth or fifth or maybe the sixth, but he does have off the field issues is what they're saying. But and that's something that I don't know too much about, but the live chat is saying no because he punched his quarterback in the face. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But if anybody could take him, I guess he could. Dill Whitted says we needed a big board, something to think about for next year, or I should have just wrote them down. Yep, this is a work in progress. So it's we're working on it. So Philip Giannoletti, I don't think I missed I did miss his pick, and I apologize. With the 27th pick in the 2020 draft, the Seahawks select Yetur Gross-Matos, edge from Penn State. The Seahawks need someone to replace Clowney. Gross-Matos is a guy you picked last week for Baltimore, and I really think that's a guy that every draft I'm seeing, he is at the end of the first round. Really good pick there. So let's go and put Yetur Gross-Matos there. Bradley, who picked earlier, just gave us $2 just to be our friend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So next, Jesse Robinson with the Baltimore Ravens. And then the Titans are on the clock. And then the Green Bay Packers. So here we go. As we wind down, we need about, there we go. This is a guy that you're not going to like this pick because it's a good pick. With the 28th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Patrick Queen. Ravens' biggest need by a lot is an inside linebacker, and it's a good one, and he's still there. Patrick Queen, I believe from LSU. That's a guy I did not want to see go to the Ravens, but the Ravens have a lot of draft capital this year, so they're going to get an opportunity in a deep draft, get a lot of guys. So wow. On air, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. On air, Antonio Cabeza Manrique, who first noticed the Steelers back in 1995 during Super Bowl 30 in Colombia. He was telling me the story and asked me to go ahead and mention it. And he sent me a picture of his child wearing a Ben Roethlisberger jersey. So absolutely fantastic. So 30 seconds on the clock as we move things right along. And if not, then we would just go ahead. There we go. And It's bilingual. Con la selección 29.
T. Higgins.
Los Tianes de Tennessee. Selección a T. Higgins. T. Higgins going. And that's another pick from Clemson. Big man. Big player as well going to Tennessee. They could use some extra wide receiver help there. They got A.J. Brown last year. That's some big weapons. So there you go. Greg Getz next with the Green Bay Packers. Greg Getz is on the clock. Then we're going to go to Solar 6, Michael O'Malley, and wrap it up with Logan DiLorenzo. So I just liked, I might have to say that again. Con la selección 29, Los Titanes. Los Titanes de Tennessee, selección a T. Higgins. What do I sound like the most interesting man in the world when I do that?
You sound like yeah. I would have guessed you knew everything. You understood that whole thing.
Yeah, and I just read it. There you go. So Greg Getz on the clock with the Green Bay Packers. So let's see who we have. Mr. Sean Manahan saying Mr. 2 a.m. Yeah, I've never tried that. I would never pull it off. And most of my 2 a.m.s now would be REM sleep. Yeah, I should have said Viente Nueve. There it is. So Greg Getz says, up, my pick got taken, but man, I think you're doing well. Wow, had my T. Higgins pick already copied and pasted. Got to adapt. Receivers going fast. Can't wait for second round. Going with TCU wide receiver Jalen Reagor to pair with Devontae Adams. I had Reagor going there all along. That's a sweet pick. He runs a 4.28, Tony. You can do that, can't you?
About 10 years ago. Not anymore.
All right. Solarverse 6 is on the clock. You know, I remember back about 25 years ago, at Three River Stadium before games, you could run the 40 and they would clock you. And I was under 200 pounds at the time. I was probably about 160 and I still ran like a 5.68. You know, granted I was bundled up because it was winter time, but that would not have helped me at all.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Tom Brady ran a 5.2.
Yeah.
He did. I saw it the other day. I couldn't believe it. That's pretty slow.
Maybe that's why he was drafted in the 6th round. And what a crappy pick that ended up being. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have known? Man, I'll take T. Martin any day, where the Steelers took a round ahead of him. So up next, Solarverse 6. Saw him earlier in the live chat. After that, Michael O'Malley with the Kansas City Chiefs. And then we're going to end it with Logan DiLorenzo with the big pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 49. Let's see. Let's give about 15 more seconds to Solarverse. And then what we would need to do is go ahead. There we go. He made his pick. With the 31st pick of the 2020 NFL Draft, the 49ers select Ross Blacklock, defensive tackle, TCU. The loss of defensive tackle DeForest Buckner leaves a huge hole. This is a fantastic pick, Solarverse. And the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people thought they were going to go for a defensive tackle at number 11. They couldn't. So they got the stud wide receiver. Here, they don't lose much by going Blacklock, a really good pick. I love it for the San Francisco 49ers. On the clock now, Michael O'Malley with the Kansas City Chiefs. And before that, we have a super chat. Australian money here. Awesome show and a great idea. Please accept this donation and put it towards a big board next year. Yep, we've got a whole year to figure it out. So we will do that. And I tell you what, if maybe next year we do a second round show the week after. We'll
very
see.
Good, very good.
We've got a year to figure out how to make this better, but I appreciate it. It was just something I thought of in my head to see how we can do it, and we're trying. So Michael O'Malley says this is the first guy on their board, and I think this is a fantastic pick as well. A lot of people wanted to see him fall to the Steelers. Kansas City takes Cesar Ruiz from Michigan, first guy off the board. He's a center. He's a guard. He's really good. I got to tell you, I I like this pick as well. So let's go ahead and throw in Cesar Ruiz. Now, our final pick of the draft is Logan DiLorenzo. And Kathy Ford throws in $2 to second the big board. Now, if we were on Zoom, I could probably do it. I'll have to figure out how to do it on StreamYard. That's a possibility. But we could figure that out. We need more production value here, Tony. So,
well, these guys are general managers. They should have their own big board. You think Kevin Colbert is going to use our big board? No, he has his own.
So that's what we'll be doing. So to end the show, we are looking for the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock at number 49. We are going to fast forward all the way up to 49. And so it is Logan's job to figure out who is going to go beforehand. And he asked me about this, and I'm like, look, just if they're not already selected and you think that they're going to be available, you make the pick. Because as far as I'm concerned with this draft, the Steelers are picking at 33. That's the best way to put it.
Right.
Just because we just didn't have the time. If we had more time, if we had another hour to the show, we would have probably added picks 34 through 48. And when he asked me about it, I threw something in there saying, all right, you just have to pick 33 to 48. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I'm like, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
There we go.
The pick is in with the 49th pick of the BTSC mock draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Cam Akers, running back, Florida State University. I do not think JK will make it to us. Cam fits our history at running back, 215 pounds, and ran a 4.47. You know what? The more that I hear about this guy, the more I'm excited about the possibility. The last few days, one thing about the quarantine, I'm having a lot more time when I'm not trying to teach my daughter 5th grade math, which is a lot harder than figuring out a draft, by the way. When I'm not doing that, I am just all over the draft. I'm trying to figure out things for our show on Thursday night. So with that being said, Cam Akers, according to the BTSC mock draft, and Logan DiLorenzo is a Pittsburgh Steelers. Some people think that he could fall to the third. Some people don't think he could fall to the third. But, I'm going with it. That's the pick. So I got to tell everybody let me do this first. XADB. Nice draft. Here's 2 million CAD, which is $2 US. Hey, I'll take it. If I could just say I have 2 million of something, then I've got 2 million more than anything that I've ever had. So I need some CAD in my pocket, but it doesn't go to my pocket. So a few things real quick. Tate Boy says take Zach Moss at 102 and draft safety Chin at 49 for value. Mule Skinner. Now this is a great quote. FSU had a terrible offensive line, and that's what I'm reading about Akers. Really had a bad. That is true. So there you go. A lot of people wanted a wide receiver. Bradley says, hey, we shouldn't waste our money on that. We can get a wide receiver later. Let's get a running back here first, or maybe a lineman. There's so much to be said. We went over. I got to tell you, wasn't supposed to go over, but this was a special episode. So really, thank you. We will continue to try to do this in years to come and make this better. But with that being said, you guys were fantastic. This exceeded my expectations because I was worried about it. Went really well. And we'll get it together a little bit better next year. But thank you so much for being part of the inaugural class of GMs in the BTSC live chat room mock draft. Tony, you did it. I'll do it with you. Great job, guys. Thank you so much. Snowman wants to win GM of the day. He gave us $2 for it. Snowman, you're GM of the day.
He's definitely on my winners list. I have
31 others, but we'll put your name on the trophy. So thank you so much. $1 coming in from Dave Shipley. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for all the support. Remember, hit like. Suggest this to your friends. We need more subscribers. We're coming up on 6,000. We need about 600 to get to the 6,000 mark. That's something we want to do. We have some new friends that we made today, some old friends that we love having around. Dennis doesn't like mock drafts, so Dennis didn't show up today, and we miss Dennis. I would have loved to. We're going to convince him to be a GM next year. But so thank you so much. Programming note: Thursday night. Now we have other shows coming up. We have the Scobros tomorrow with Stat Geek. On Wednesday night, we have Jeff and Lance with the Standard is the Standard. And here is the big show on Thursday night. We're gonna have a draft watch party. We're gonna just sit here during the entire show, and we're gonna watch the draft. We're gonna have a show the entire time. Jeff Hartman will be here. I'll be here. Tony, you might be here, right?
Maybe, yeah. Absolutely.
We'll have Dave Schofield. We might have Lance if we can convince him on here. Big Bro Sco is going to be there. Might be 6 of us on your screen. It might be chaos, but it's going to be fun just to watch the draft with us. We wanted to have a draft party here at a local establishment in Western Maryland. We couldn't do it, so we're going to do it instead, just online, the first round. We're going to watch it together. So get ready around 8 o'clock on Thursday night to watch the first round of the draft with BehindTheSteelCurtain.com radio. So with that, thank you so much for joining us. We can't do it without you. And we love our live chat fans. We love all our BTSC fans. Thank you so much for making this a success. I really appreciate it. Tony Defeo, as always, you were fantastic. Thank you.
You too, my man. You too. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks to Wes in the live chat for feeding us stuff on text and through the live chat as well. Technical difficulties kept him from coming on today. So for Tony Defeo, my name is Bryan Anthony Davis. Thank you so much for being a part of the mock draft. To quote the great Roddy Piper, just when you think you know all the answers,
we keep changing the questions.
Good night, my friends.